I want to say all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Shalom to the hopeful elect, double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who rule well. Sorry, I'm talking a bit low. I can't get a bit late and have neighbours and stuff like that, so I have to be careful about my volume. But yeah, just to show you what's going on in the UK. Apparently there are new measures to avoid a second national lockdown, and through the spirit we know that this is inevitable. You know, I was talking to one of the people in the gym today, and they seem to be of the impression that you know, a second lockdown isn't coming, which we all know is bullcrap, because it's coming. You know, and you can see before I get into scriptures, you can see through here how they're going on. And this is general rules: physical activity or exercise undertaken at your own risk. If you have any concerns about your health or suitability for chosen activities, seek guidance, etc., etc. Do not come to the leisure centre if you're unwell, have COVID symptoms. You know, and this is just it's at the beginning of sorrows and just foreshadowing, you know, these draconian laws. I mean, they're starting off light, but they're getting heavier and heavier by the day, as you can see. You know, follow one-way system, and no one really follows these, but at the end of the day, when people start enforcing them, you know, it's going to be a different story. Respect social distancing. Lockers may not be available because there's no change now. You know, they're trying to make all things cashless. All centers are cashless. There's no equipment available to hire or borrow. Bring your own drinking water. I mean, the drinking fountains are all out of order. You know, and this is very interesting. 13. You will pass on your contact details to the NHS Test and Trace service if requested to do so. Okay, and in the gym rules here, you can see you will need to complete your workout and be out of the building within 1 hour. I don't know about you, but the type of workouts I do, I need at least 2 hours to do it. Do not spend more than 15 minutes at any gym station. I mean, this is just draconian, man. Bring a personal sweat towel, your own drinkable water, hand sanitizer, wipe down all equipment. And that's just common sense and just being clean and considerate about other people. You know, you must not go from the gym to the pool or exercise class or vice versa. You need to separate bookings and must exit and re-enter using the approved routes. No, that's ridiculous. So instead of just going downstairs, you need to, you know, exit the building, then re-enter it just to go downstairs. Instead of just going downstairs. That's long. You must train alone. You cannot use equipment where you would need a spotter. So you can't bench press. No private coach is allowed. This is just ridiculous. The joke thing is I see a personal trainer today, and he ain't got no one to train. This is just getting dumber and dumber by the day. You must not go from the gym to the pool or exercise class or vice versa. You need separate bookings and must exit and re-enter using the approved routes, which is a stupid one-way system which, to be honest, people aren't really respecting anyway. So, you know, now these are just there. People aren't necessarily following all of them to the T, but, you know, they're just setting things up. They're going to start enforcing them clearly with everything that's going on. I'll just show a bit of this video just to put things in context, you know.
Struggle against COVID is the single biggest crisis
Another blonde, bumbling buffoon, just like Donald Trump.
This disease has killed almost 1 million people and caused havoc to economies everywhere.
No, you cause havoc to the economies everywhere.
And an appeal to the nation
Trying to blame
pull
COVID.
Together.
Never in our history has our collective destiny and our collective health depended so completely on our individual behaviour.
Time also to level
now you
with
see
the
him
country.
smirking. I wanted to bring this up, you know, because I saw in one of the comments and somebody said, dupe is the light. And it's the rush that they feel when they are conning someone who they feel is more stupid and can't see through their lies when found out. They do not feel bad for hurting you, and they do not feel remorse or shame. Instead, they feel a rush of endorphins, which for a sociopath is described as dupe is delight. So that's how Esau is, man. He gets off lying, because he's the father of lies. As it says here in John 8:44, of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, speak of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Now you can see him smiling when he knows he knows it's all bullcrap, and the man said, that he had COVID himself, Boris Johnson, which is bullcrap, man. He ain't had no COVID, bro. Well, in my opinion, he didn't, believe what you want. And it's funny because I saw one of my neighbors today, and we was talking about how they're using COVID as a precept or as a cover up to really crash the economy. And we was talking about it, and I saw him today and he was wearing a mask, and I was like, they got to you too. I started laughing. But it was only until I went home and I researched that I realized that, they're actually changing the rules up. I'm a bit detached from this society, man. I mean, yesterday I was walking down the high street eating ice cream with a metal spoon, walking down the high street. So I'm way past the point of caring about what people think of me in this society, to be perfectly honest with you, man. These people disgust me, man. I mean, you turn down one street and somebody's blowing cigarette smoke in your face. You turn on another street, somebody's blowing weed in your face. People are standing in the middle of the road, or the middle of the pavement, having conversations instead of putting themselves in a position where they're not obstructing people who are trying to walk past. These people are damn animals, man. I just see them as savages. This is Psalm 73:8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly regarding. Oh, sorry. I'll say that again. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. So, they don't even see these rules as being oppressive, because they speak wickedly concerning oppression, and they're very boastful in how they do it, like they're trying to help you, when really they're not.
Let's get this wrong,
show a little bit more of this. He could be
forced to impose another lockdown.
And of course, I'm deeply spiritually reluctant to make any of these impositions or infringe anyone's freedom.
Right.
But unless we take action, the risk is that we will have to go for tougher measures later, when the deaths have already mounted and we have a huge caseload of infected.
What's that there? So, believe him not. Yeah, this is it. Proverbs 26:25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. So, he's acting like they want to help you, but you can't believe this guy, man. He's a clown, bro. He's like Donald Trump. He's like the British version of Donald Trump.
A somber message after the Prime Minister announced to Parliament a toughening of restrictions in England. People will be asked to work from home when they can. Pubs and restaurants will have to close between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m.
Because we all know that COVID is not active between 10 and 5. This guy's so stupid. Yeah, before I get into more scriptures, I just wanted to show this, and this is for the company I work for. Obviously, I had to X out certain information. Probably didn't do all of it properly, but just get into it. Face covering update. Following the Prime Minister's announcement on Tuesday, 22nd of September, there have been changes to face coverings that affect store colleagues. This is based on the most up-to-date information we have. We will continue to review this ongoing to ensure it is appropriate. The wearing of a face covering is now mandatory for colleagues whilst working in public areas of the store. Not wearing a face covering without a justifiable exemption is a criminal offence. So we can see how they sped it up, and it went from optional to mandatory. Colleagues must ensure they always wear face covering at all times on the shop floor. You must wear face covering even if you are on a checkout behind a perspex screen. So what's the point of the perspex screen? There are specific groups of customers are exempt from this legislation. This also continues to apply to colleagues children under the age of 11, people who cannot put on, wear or remove a face covering because of a physical or mental illness or impairment or disability, where putting on, wearing or removing a face covering will cause you severe distress. It causes me severe distress. If you are speaking to or providing assistance to someone who relies on lip reading, clear sound or facial expressions to communicate, to avoid harm or injury or the risk of harm and injury to yourself or others, including if it would negatively impact on your ability to exercise or participate in a strenuous activity, colleagues are still not required to challenge customers not wearing face coverings directly, as customers may not be wearing a face covering due to falling into one of the exemption categories. Didn't even spell categories right. Bunch of savages. You still don't even know how to spell. Key worker, proof of employment letter. No, I don't know if I should be showing you this or not. I tried to remove all the sensitive information, but I'll just sum it up. I confirm that above named person is employed by, their role is identified as a key worker in line with the government's definition as outlined on gov.uk. Their role is directly related to the sale and operation of food within. Therefore, I give express permission for this identified colleague to use this letter to enable them to travel to and from work by whichever means required, or to be driving a company vehicle for the purposes of work. This letter also forms proof of employment, which, should the above named person elect to make a claim for test and trace support payment, it should be noted that where the colleague is identified as working in XX store, they will be unable to perform that work from home. Now, why would they send this letter preemptively to me, unless they're aware that there's going to be another lockdown? But obviously you heard from them that they're trying not to create another lockdown, but you sent me this letter in case I'm out and I need to show why I'm out, to give reason as to why I'm out. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You have all these signs showing that there's going to be a second lockdown, but out of their mouths they're saying, that there's not, which is why the scriptures say, believe him not, because he's a damn liar.
Now, it's interesting, Conservative MPs, they expect
stinky, dirty bone that is Esau.
Is the next step. They won't like it, but they could probably live with it. If the government went much further and did big restrictions on the hospitality sector, that would really create insurrection on the Tory benches.
Really?
Fascinating. Nick, thanks very much indeed. Well, in a moment, we'll be hearing from the former Labour Health and Home Secretary Alan Johnson. But earlier, I spoke to the chair of the Health Select Committee, former Conservative Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt, and I asked him whether he thought the measures announced today were an adequate response to the chief scientist's warning about the exponential spread of COVID-19.
Serious effort to reduce the R number below 1, which must be our objective, must take account of this key driver of transmission, and it must seek to break that driver of transmission. So after careful consideration, we have decided that from tomorrow, to be reviewed every 3 weeks.
Y'all can check out the vids for yourself, man. I'm just gonna read a few scriptures. This is Wisdom of Solomon 17:21. Over them only were spreading heavy nights, an image of that darkness which should afterwards receive them. But yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the darkness. So, they're creating more problem than the quote-unquote darkness, which is COVID. They themselves are more grievous than the so-called pandemic, because with how they're dealing with it, they're causing more of a problem. But you're just these people are idiots, man. They should be in charge. Wisdom of Solomon 17:12. For fear is nothing else but the betraying of the suckers. If you look into the definition of suckers, give assistance to aid. So, for fear is nothing else but a betraying of the aid which reason offereth. So, reasonably, when you think about it, how they're dealing with COVID is not the best way to deal with it. But they're not using reason right now. They're using something else, which is, their need to control everything, which goes against reason in the scriptures. Wisdom of Solomon 17:11. For wickedness condemned by our own witness is very timorous. Look into timorous, showing suffering from nervous lack of confidence. And you can see these people ain't got no confidence. And being pressed with conscience always forecast of grievous things. I'm just about to lock out, so I'm just going to say, all praise to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Shalom to the hopeful elect, double honest to the elders, and apostle of JMS who rule well.